Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back again to Run or Play Podcast, the podcast where we discuss everything about football, especially the English Premiership. Today, or luckily for us, we just have two members of the crew myself, Johnny Boy, and with me, I have Mr. Judensi, Mr. Long the Ball. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. The only team that didn't lose.
But technically, Liverpool didn't lose too, so
Among the podcast moderators,
I mean, it didn't change. It didn't change much, so I don't get.
11 points.
Well,
11 points is far much.
okay. So, anyways, it was a very, very downside weekend for me. You know, the idiot team from London, they lost. The red side of London lost. So I think that's a good place to start for this podcast. So, what are your takes on Arsenal and what is wrong with Arsenal at the
I
moment?
think I should be the one asking you the question. should I? You already said how you felt. So if I back down more,
Well, the truth about it is
the
that
main thing, I want to ask is, what do you think he could have done different in that game? Do you agree with the starting lineup?
the truth
And
that
what do you think he could have done different to change the game, to change the outcome?
the problem is that I don't know. I can't sit down here and say what he could have done. The only thing I know he should have not done is that he shouldn't have started Merino. I know Sterling is not the best, but I would have still kept Sterling on. Reason why is that you're playing because that's the problem I have about Arteta. Arteta is very one-sided most times. Like he felt that okay, Marino, yes, Marino scored against Leicester, but Leicester is a worse team or is a worse team than West Ham. And West Ham have tall like all their defenders are like 6 foot, maybe like three minimum. Like all their defenders. So putting Marino against them is like putting one player against four giants. Like everybody in their backline is so. In fact, I think West Ham has one of the tallest teams players in the league. Like their team is one of the tallest in terms of height, average height of their players. I believe they do. So already that tells you cross and nod is probably not going to work against them. Not to talk of Merino. Merino is not a striker because he worked against Leicester, which is a very poor team. Like they're one of the poorest teams in the league. I think they're 18th. No, they're 19th. Actually, not 18th. Ipswich is 18th. They're 19th in the league, and the league table doesn't lie. They're the 19th team, so that means they're the second worst team in the league. So it doesn't lie. So you cannot judge. You cannot use the fact that Merino has had a poor season. It's not as if he has been brilliant all season and then you put him on top and he just continues brilliant. He has been poor all season. Luckily for him, he came on and he was able to score two goals and won us the game last weekend. Now, I expected you to like, you know what? I would have kept on Sterling and then maybe if nothing's happening, you bring in Merino. But yeah, everything goes back to the summer. I don't even want to talk about January because January is when you're given a second chance. The first opportunity. That's why I don't buy this factor that yes, you can say the owners didn't give Ateta the funds to buy players, but at the same time, me I know that growing up, when you know you don't have a lot of money, we're told growing up that you buy what is what necessary. You don't buy what you think you need. You buy what you need because you don't have enough money. That's what we were taught growing up. So I expected Ateta, knowing fully well that your attack wasn't brilliant last season. Yes, you scored a lot of goals, but that's the problem with stats. Stats is not going to show you the chances that so and so missed that you could have scored if you had the clinical striker. Stats will only show the number of goals that you scored. They were relying on Havertz because he had a purple patch last season, and it has come to fruition that it was a purple patch. He had, let's say, he had 80 million to spend. You got rid of all your attackers, and then you didn't buy any. Instead, you went to buy defenders. I don't get his obsession with defenders. Like Arsenal for the past two seasons, I've had like I'm sure their defense in terms of defense, they are like the second or top three defense in the whole league. So our defense was not a problem last season. I expected Arteta. The first thing I expected him to do was to get an attacker, not even Calafiori. Should have gotten an attacker, and he didn't do that. We spent the whole summer chasing Merino, almost 6 weeks chasing Merino. We finally bought Merino, and then he now brought in Sterling on the last day of the transfer window, just to appease fans because the pressure was on them that they couldn't bring another attacker. So that already gave me the indication where the club puts that the target they set themselves. To me, I said it right from the start that the transfer window showed me that Arsenal's target for this season was not to win the league. Their target for this season was, you know what, let's just get a team that is enough to get us top four. That's what I feel because a team that was going to win the league, we knew what they needed. Check all the teams that have won the league that have struggled the previous year to win the league and they wanted to win the next. Check the progress they made and you see the signings they made that showed you, oh, okay, these guys are serious. When Liverpool lost the league the first time to, they came very close to winning the league where they had, I think it was 99 points and Pep had 100. Who did they sign that summer? They signed Allison. The January they signed Van Dijk. So they are even their recruitment started from the January of before the summer. They bought Allison that summer. I think they bought Fabinho as well. They bought Fabinho, so they improved their midfield. They improved their goalkeeper, got a world class goalkeeper. They also bought Konate. I believe that's the summer they also bought Konate. So they improved their team drastically. And I think they also bought Wijnaldum also that summer, if I'm not wrong. No, no, they bought Wijnaldum the previous summer. But they bought Fabinho, they bought Konate, and they bought Allison. Three guys that improved their team drastically. And what happened? They won the league. In fact, they won the league. Like they won the league. I know it was a COVID year, but everybody knew that Liverpool had won the league even before COVID started because the gap between them and Man City was like almost 20 points as at when COVID hit. So we already knew that they had won the league. So that's when I saw Arsenal transfer window, I knew straight up that the club Arteta were not serious because you cannot be chasing the title and you don't have a word like a solid gunman at front, a killer. There's a track record already on the stats showed. I don't like stats, but there's a stat that said in the last I think 15 years, I think it's only twice or three times that a team has won the league without having a recognized striker. Man City was one. I think no, I think Man City did it twice, and then who again did one other team did it? I believe one other team did it. Let me not say striker actually. That the striker that scored.
Oh,
Sorry, not having a striker. A striker that
striker
actually
that
scored
scores.
over 20 goals, over 20 league goals. Not the striker. Sorry. So Man City were already a team that has done it twice. And the second time they did it, they had like four guys that scored almost 20 league goals. So the average between of them were like 18 or 17 league goals. So that's covered for the whole striking this thing. But but Arsenal doesn't have that. So why not go get a guy that can guarantee you 20 league goals a season solidly? He didn't do that. He said he went to buy the defense. So that told me that they were not ready to win the league. And then injuries happen. And that's one problem Arsenal always has that the Arsenal I've never seen a transfer with the way Arsenal, and this goes back to I've never seen a transfer with the way Arsenal needs five players. It needs five positions filled. Let me say five positions filled, and they filled up four of it, leaving just one. Because if you leave just one, what happens is that maybe in January you can always get that one in. I've never seen a video like that. It's always they're always leaving either two short or three short, and they never rectify it in January, knowing fully well they don't sign anybody in January. So January this time around, God had mercy on them, gave them a second chance. Their best player, which is Saka, got injured. I think it was 2 weeks or 3 days before the January window. A club that is serious about the Premiership, immediately that happens, the first thing you do is to get a replacement for him straight up. That's what you do. You get it. If I that make that even that also pushes you now to even get a striker. God now gave you a second, a third opportunity now. Gabriel Jesus got injured, I think, a week into the transfer window or 2 weeks into. So two of your main attackers had gone down now. You were not still moved. Martinelli now got injured, I believe. No, Martinelli got after the window closed. So Martinelli and Havertz both got injured after the window closed. So now you're left with no. Imagine we're relying on one area who's 17, Trossard who is inconsistent, and Marino has been poor all season that is not a striker. So to me, like I said, the target for this season was never the league. From what I saw, it was never the league. So I'm disappointed at the same time. I'm not surprised because it's Arsenal. They say it's the hope that kills you. So I'm not surprised. Right for me, I always say that Ateta would have been gone. This season he would have been gone because I wouldn't have given him a new contract because this year his target would have to win the league or win a major trophy. If he doesn't, he's gone.
He's still in the Champions League. Uh,
He's not going to win that. So I'm not even kidding myself. He's not going
you're
to win the
playing
Champions League. I know.
PSV without a striker.
Even if we get through PSV,
So
my problem is not PSV. Even if we do manage to get through PSV, which I'm not counting on that. Like I'm not 100% sure. Madrid or Atletico, any of them we meet, we're going out. Any of them we meet, Arsenal is going out. Even when we had, even if we had a full squad, I wouldn't even be confident playing Atletico or Real Madrid in Champions because Arteta is a very stupid manager when it comes to facing teams that have more experience than him. That is where he falls short, and because he's a very stubborn manager, he doesn't learn. So to me, everything about Arsenal is it's what I expected. That's what I expected it. So in a way, I'm not really pained. So that's how I feel about Arsenal.
So I'm going to get a quick one for what from what you said, right? You said now you're saying they're looking like a team that's going to get top four. Previously, I thought, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, you were looking at maybe the second, or maybe if it's Dr. Toves that was looking at Arsenal being
Well,
second. So,
I still I went for second. I went Dr.
so
Jones went third. I
do
went
you
second.
think, based on current situation now, based on your form, based on your current situation of not having a striker, and looking at the games ahead, are you confident? So, well, what will I put it? Would it be that you believe the title is gone, or you believe the title is gone, or you believe the title is gone and you are second, or you believe the title is gone and you are hoping for top four? Where would you stand in these three?
The simple answer to that the title was gone from the summer. I never predicted Arsenal to win the league. So the title for me was gone from the summer because, like I said, they didn't do what was required to win the
So there
title.
was
So
no
that gave
hope
me an
at
indication
all
that
at any point from
so there was
you
no
that
hope.
Arsenal
There
will be
was no
winning the
hope.
league.
There was no any true Arsenal fan looking at the transfer window of the summer. Not the guys that delude themselves. That's they want to just believe everything about the club. The guys that tell themselves the honest truth knew that from the summer window that went by, the Arsenal were not serious to win the league. We all knew that. Now, January now gave us a second opportunity. You know what? Luckily for us, we were still in the title race as of January because I think we're like maybe 7 points behind, which is, I mean, it's not it's something that you can see catch up 7 points because we still have Liverpool to play. Liverpool still had some fixtures to play, so anything could happen.
I think
And
February
then
were
you see,
just 5 or 4.
no, I think it was 5.
It was
It
just five
wasn't
or
yet
four like
5.
last week, this weekend or something.
No,
Not,
no, it wasn't 5. If we had won the game, it would have been
yeah,
5 because Liverpool had played a game ahead
one
of
game
us now
ahead.
because they drew.
Yeah.
So we needed to win to be 5, but they would have gone back to 8 as they beat Man City.
Oh,
I think the closest we came to was about 4 points. I believe it was 4 points. But
yeah.
Liverpool still had a game in hand. Liverpool had a game in hand, but it was 4 points. So that gave me a little bit of hope that you know what, if Arsenal does what was required in January, they could have still salvaged it. But when they did do that right now, I still feel honestly, I still think because of how the teams that are supposed to be international top four have not been performing this year, right? I still think Arsenal have done. I think I believe Man City to Arsenal. The point difference between Arsenal and Man City is by 11 points. I believe Arsenal will just sneak in second. That's what I feel. They will just sneak in second. But I'm not confident, like I said. But the only thing I'm confident is that they will definitely get top four, which was the target from the beginning. That's what I said. That showed me that was the target for the Conquerors or from the board. That the target was just top four. So I still feel Arsenal will maintain top four. Okay, it's actually 9 points. Actually, Man City and Arsenal is 9 points.
Okay, before I give my own takes on Arsenal, I want to hear. I congratulations to West Ham. They actually worked with their plan and it worked for them. They mastered it and they came and they were impressive with the plan.
It's very
So,
simple to play against Arsenal.
do you think that your current gameplay needs to be not in the matter of players? I'm talking about gameplay, like the way Arsenal plays. Considering that you don't have
Yeah.
strikers, right? What advice would you give to Arteta? Does he have to change the gameplay, or what do you feel?
So I was listening to a podcast. I think as I was going to work this morning, and in the podcast, the guy was talking about. He made a point, a very valid point. He said when Arteta, most Arsenal fans remember this. When Arteta won the FA Cup, he supposedly won, right? The formation he played was what 3-4-3. Though he had better attackers then than now, but he played a 3-4-3 because his defense wasn't solid, so he had to compensate for his defense. That's why he played 3-3-4-3. So that could be an option. I know your attack isn't solid now, but why don't you go for 3-4-3? Play Saliba, Califiori, and Gabriel as your three center backs, and then wing backs Timber and Tierney. and then you play Rice and Party as you're holding, and then up front you play Odegaard, uh, Trossard, and Waneri. Because I don't trust Merino. Merino has been a flop all season. I don't even understand why Arsenal signed Merino. To be honest with you, the best midfielder for Spain was Rodri. After Rodri was Fabio Ruiz. So I don't know what Merino was not even a starter for Spain. So I don't get the hype where Arsenal fans were hyping the guy for no reason. The guy was not even a starter for the Spanish because he came in and scored against Germany and won them the game. That's the problem. Arsenal fans, like we are so like we lap up everything the club does. Like you just hype. Even when the player is garbage, you just see they'll just start hyping, making stupid videos about him. And even when you know the guy is garbage, they don't watch him. But just because Arsenal is linked to him and he's another player, they begin to no, you don't do that. The guy has to prove to you first before you accept it. That's what happens. Especially when the guy has not proven himself. He has to prove himself. If you're buying Mbappe, I can understand. If you're buying Mbappe, you're buying like a Haaland, you're buying like a maybe Isaac. Now, I can understand you hyping up Vinicius, Rodrigo. I can understand you putting up the hype and making videos or hyping, oh, he's a superstar. Not when you're buying a Marino that God knows who he is. Nobody knew about him. He was a flop. He has been in England before for Newcastle. He was a flop in English Premiership before he went to Spain. So I didn't get the hype around that. So my own is that's what I would tell her. That was my advice I would give Ateta. Try tweaking the formation because he's too rigid. Ateta is so rigid. Like even sometimes when he's playing his formation right now, Ateta always makes life for likes up. Even when Arsenal is losing the game or they need to win the game and they're drawing, he always makes life for likes up. It's either he's taking off Party and bringing Jorginho on, or he's taking off Califury bringing Miles Lewis Kelly on, or he's taking Tierney, taking off Califury bringing Zinchenko. Like there's no thinking after the box. You know what? Let me bring out all of my attackers, sacrifice the defense, leave three at the back. The game against Everton was the same thing. Everton didn't come there to play; they just came there to draw the game. So why not take that risk? Leave your only play the three defenders and bring all our attack to play the game. That's the difference between Slot and Arteta. Is that a Slot when the game is not going fine for him, he's losing. He brings all his attackers and just plays only like two or three defenders. We've seen it before. That's what he does. And that's why Henry simplified and summarized Arsenal and Liverpool. Simply said, one manager plays to win, one manager plays not to lose. There's two different things there. One is playing to win, the one is playing that, oh, let me not lose. So he's satisfied with the point as long as he doesn't lose. And that is Arteta's biggest problem in Arsenal. And that's why I feel he will never win anything major in Arsenal because he's too restrictive in his tactics. He's very close minded. Like it's always one way, there's no plan B. And that's why teams that come to play Arsenal, once they set up in a low block, Arsenal don't win. Check all the games we've played against. And that's why when it comes against teams, the managers are smart and very experienced. He struggles because they know the game plan is have your banks of four, be solid, compact, be compact at the back. Don't give us any space. Double up on them anytime, and they allow them cross the ball. Once they are crossing the ball, they do no damage with crossing the ball. Try as much as possible to. Before, at least we had the danger of corner kicks and free kicks, set piece. But I can't remember the last time that happened. Probably against Man U, that was the last time we scored a set piece goal. So it's been a long time. So even now, teams have sussed us out. So basically, even our plan B, which was not a plan B, basically, it's not working. It's not working again. So I don't get like the Arteta has just lost me a long time. So I've given up on him long time. So like I said, left for me, he wouldn't have been my manager going into next season. But I know he's going to be here because the board are satisfied with him because he's bringing in the revenue and he's achieving their target, which is just to make top four Champions League money, and that's it.
For me, I want him to stay 3 to 5 seasons. He can stay there. We'll be happy to have him in the league. For
That's
my own take, I
that
think
is what that is.
he's a stubborn manager, and I hate when managers don't become quick to adapt to the game. They
You know what? You know what's so funny? What's so funny that I can understand if your manager has won. If someone like a Pep is stubborn, I understand it. If someone like a Mourinho is stubborn, I understand it. If somebody like a Klopp is stubborn, I understand it. Why? They've won multiple titles and trophies, so it shows that their style works. But not somebody that has never won. The only trophy you won was an FA Cup. You're still proving yourself and you're being stubborn. No, man, who does that? You don't do that. So
He has won second runner up so many times. It's a trophy to you. I feel he should make it. He
it's a
should he
trophy to
should
the board.
understand the game. If he plays, you don't have striker. You don't have somebody in the center, and Sterling does not stay in the center. So even if you play Sterling, he's going to go from the wing and do his thing. Which Sterling didn't have a bad game. The last one I watched, I felt he could have stayed on. Probably position him to be in the box, or maybe Trossard to be in the box. I don't think the change to bring in to remove Califori, if it's not an injury related, I don't think it's needed for me. But I think the changes I would like him to learn from this is that his style of play needs to change. When you
Definitely.
when you possess the ball and there's no attacker and you don't take shots from the outside, there's nobody to finish up, there's no shot coming out, you are going to make yourself become toothless. So what everybody is going to do, any team going to Arsenal now will probably sit back and try to have three of their fastest guys, or at least two of their fastest guys, to be up front. So when you
Yeah.
pressure, then they absorb the pressure and try to send the ball out. Because West Ham, if Kudus believed more in himself than what he had that day, they probably would have scored like two or three more goals, two goals with counter that they had the opportunity. But Kudus was like delaying the game and all the stuff in the second half that I watched. So I just feel like he needs to change the gameplay because if you look at Leicester, it was when Leicester came out to play you guys that you had the chance to score. So he needs to kind of
Yes.
sit back, bring out the opponents. That's the only way you can break through. Not passing from left to right. We've seen that with Arsenal several times. So he needs to change that gameplay in a game. If it's not working in the first half, then change it. Let's bring out those guys. Let's play. Or have a plan B so that when you enter the game, if the players are not playing to the first part, right? Then you change immediately. You don't have to wait till second half to change. So you do all those things. I just feel he's just being stubborn in his approach, and his mentality is not going to help him and his players. That's what me I would take. So talking about the other team that you mentioned, which is Man City, being among the top teams to look at the top four. Considering their current form, I think Haaland is injured now. And looking at De
Yeah,
Bruyne,
that's how many injury.
so looking at all this, and then what do you think about this slump? Because I knew people were thinking, oh, Pep will probably go to the market in January and get players, and then they'll revamp and win all through. Are their chances slight of being in top four, or is it stronger with this their current form? And do you think this is like a periodical change challenge that they are getting? Like, you get a set of players, they play for 5, 6 years, 10 or 8 years, and then age and everything comes in, and you need to overhaul the team. So, do you think they're in that stage where they're in the process of overhauling and rebuilding a new team, or do you think they will bounce back quickly next season? Because I think this season the title is gone. What do you think?
I think Man City also made the same mistake Arsenal made. And the thing about Man City is that this thing we've been seeing it for the past 2 years. But the thing is that Arsenal lacked the experience and they had the mentality to win the league because Arsenal should have won the league last season and the previous year. But because of the lack of mentality and I would say for the first a little bit of experience, that's why they didn't win the league. So the signs from Man City since 2023, they haven't really improved their squad much. Haaland was their major signing they made, I think it was 2 years ago, I believe. So apart from Haaland, they haven't made any solid signings since Haaland. All the other signings have been like, you know what, Doku, and let's be honest, Doku is not. I mean, Doku is some. We have seen Doku is a. You get what you pay for with Doku. Let's just say he's just a flashy player with no end product.
Do you mean in
He's a
attack
Adama
or
Traore.
overall in the team?
Like in the team, they got Savino this last summer. Savino is,
Would you say that
yes, a team
Gabadol
good.
is an average? Or
No, Guardiola is a good player. Don't get me. Guardiola is a good
okay.
player. He's one of the bright spots of the attack because he's one of the people that helped them win the league last season, right? So he's a bright spot. But the attack, apart from Haaland, De Bruyne, We can see it. For De Bruyne has been on the decline for the past 2 years because last season he was injured for like almost 4 months. So he has been on the decline for like 2 years now, in my opinion. We're just seeing the combination this season. So Man City did not adequately plan for what's happening right now, and they're paying dearly for it. That's why they're struggling this season. Part of this why they're struggling is because their squad has gotten to the point, like I said, their squad is aged and without no adequate replacement. To the point that Godogan had left the team and they bought him back. Godogan is 34 years old. He's old. He has no legs again. Kovacic is in, I believe, his early 30s. So their midfield, and the moment Rodley went out, that was the end of them. Because Rodley was like the main engine of their team. So he remember he went. That was like you know what, done. So Man City also had the same problem as Arsenal. But the difference between them and Arsenal is that Man City has quickly realized that they made mistakes in the summer. And what did they do this January? They went to rectify it. They bought in Mamouche, and we have seen Mamouche. We can already tell that Mamouche might be a brilliant player for them because you can see the early signs already with them, with him. They bought in Nico Gonzalez. He's young too, but he's still. And that's the good thing about bringing players in January. Sometimes now this 6 months for him now is like a trial period for him, Gonzalez, because he's coming new into the league. So it's kind of a trial period for him. Come in, know your environment, get some game time, so that by the summer now you can play with the team full time preseason with the team. They brought in two defenders, though young defenders, but the future is bright for those defenders. We can see, like the Kushanov guy, he seems to have a bright future because I watched his game against Liverpool. He made some blocks. He's not afraid. He's a 20-year-old kid that's not afraid. So to me, Man City, the difference between Man City and Arsenal is that Man City they've seen their mistake. They were not proactive enough, but now they're remedying their situation. They didn't wait till the summer. And I think for the other part, I think tough. I believe what might help Man City to make tough for is just experience. That's the only thing that I see helping them. Because the problem with Man City is that Man City is not consistent. Like we saw, you beat Newcastle last week 4-0. You think they have landed, only for them to go and lose 2-0 to Liverpool this week. So you don't know what Man City you're going to get next week. Now they might play. I think they're playing Newcastle. They're playing Tottenham next, if I'm not wrong.
I
I think
think
their
so.
next fixture
They're
is
playing
Tottenham.
this week, this Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, who are they playing?
They're playing Wednesday.
I think
Let
they
me
are.
see.
I think they are playing. I know they are playing Tottenham very soon. So they are playing. Yeah, Tottenham this week they are playing actually. They are playing Tottenham on Wednesday. So they might actually lose that game because Tottenham is like a kryptonite for them. But let's just say they win the game. They might win Tottenham and go lose to Nottingham Forest because after Tottenham is Nottingham Forest. So they have been so inconsistent. And I was thinking, based on their past preseason, like January they pick up, but this year it has caught up to them that it's not like that. And Pep is going through. I think this is his worst period as a coach. Because first of all, he has never lasted on a job this long in the club in his entire career. The highest he has spent in the club, I think, is 3, 4 years, and he has been in Man City. Next year is going to make it 10 years. So he has been in Man City 9 years. So that's his longest time. So I think it's like you said, periodic. I think it was bound to happen. There was no way. I think we all sat here in the beginning of the season and said there was no way Man City was going to win the league. Like we thought Man City was not going to. The only reason why I gave Arsenal second because they didn't do what I expected them to do. Even though I would have given Arsenal first, but because they didn't do, that's why I just went with Man City. But we all said that we don't think Man City is going to win 5 in a row because we felt that it's going to be a lot on them because the motivation is not. I don't think it's going to be there to do 5. They've already set a record with 4, but doing 5 it takes a very very huge effort on the player side to be motivated to win. So we already knew that. So for Pep, so next season now we'll know whether Pep has gotten to his final bus stop. So next season is the real test. So this season is kind of a pass for him because Pep has never had such a season like this, right? So this season is like a pass for him. So next season now he can't have a season like this next season. But if he does, the rumors will start going out that Pep has lost it. So for me, I would say Man City's experience is going to help them maintain top 4. That's what I feel because I don't trust Bournemouth. I don't trust Aston Villa. I don't trust Newcastle. I know they are the teams chasing Man City. I don't trust Chelsea. I don't even trust Aston Villa, Chelsea, Brighton. I don't trust those teams. I trust Man City more than those teams. So that's why I feel those teams. I still don't even put it past them to overtake Nottingham Forest. Maybe Arsenal might be too much for them, but I don't put it past them to overtake Nottingham Forest. So for me, I think they will still make top four. But the test of Man City will be next season because I expect them to also buy players summer because they're going to get rid of a bunch of players. Like De Bruyne is probably going to leave. I think Greenish might leave
Yep.
as well. Gundogan is
Yep. I
probably going
think
to leave.
Gundogan is
So
leaving. A
so
lot of players will
that already
probably
tells me
leave.
that.
Bernardo Silva
And I
might
feel
even
one of their
consider
defenders is
leaving.
going to leave too. Exactly, but I don't might actually leave.
I
One of
even
the defenders
expected
might
him
actually
to
leave.
play the last week.
Kawaka is going to leave as well. I believe Kawaka is
Okay.
going to leave
Oh,
because
he's on loan, right?
he's on loan. I think
He
he's going to
probably
leave.
leave, yeah.
So already that tells you that the plans for next season they need about maybe 5, 6 players to come in, which I trust Man City that is something they can actually do to buy those 6 players they need next season to win the league. So next is going to be a test for Pep. That's when I'm going to judge him more next season.
The only reason why we share in the same sentiment like you of them being in top four is because one, they're out of Champions League. That's number one. So they have fewer games to play. If they focus on beating like the smaller teams, they'll probably get there, which their players are capable. The players that they have are capable of doing. I feel like their major issue is not being able to have the same style that like they used to have, the possessive football style that they used to play. These players that they bought in attack now are more like take on players. They want to take on the defender. They don't like you see Man City pass the ball to each other and even up to your 18 box and turn back and pass before they try to locate Haaland and but these guys now they're like more of we are forward. Just let's keep pushing and going, and that's what they try to do. But when you see them possess the football, you see them tearing up the opponents. That's what they are kind of lacking. I think that's where Rodri also stands in, and De Bruyne's brilliance is wearing out, which is one thing they need to replace. I also feel like they need a fullback on the right. Lewis is not reliable. Um, the Kushanov, although they have injuries now, but Kushanov is also not reliable. I think he's just getting to understand the league.
Kushanov is a signing. You can tell that Kushanov is a signing for the future. Him and the Reese guy they bought. Yeah, Kushanov is 20. The other guy is 18. So I don't think Mazili bought them for the now. It's good to buy them now so that they can get the experience. Playing with experienced defenders. So maybe in 3 years time, they're ready to step in. So I get the ideology behind that, the reasoning behind that. But I feel, knowing Man City, I know they're going to sign players that they need this summer
Because
because they're
I
the senior
also don't
citizens.
think Savinho too, right? Like Savinho, he's not.
Yeah.
I think Pep is looking for those Mares kind of guys and Sterling being on the left and Mares being, but these guys do not replace the peak Sterling and peak
No,
Mares, and they're
no,
not good.
not
They're
even
not good
half.
scorers, so which is another problem that they need to, right? So they probably need people that are effective scoring. Um, because the new guy Mamouche gives me more of the vibes of Alvarez, but with a little bit more of athleticism in him. So he gives me that vibes of Alvarez. The only difference is that Alvarez is very, very, very good, like clinical in terms of his in Man City then. So I don't know how he is now. So that's what my take will be on them. But I'll give them to get him to the fourth within that
Yeah.
fourth, maybe the fourth on the dot. I think they might land on the fourth on the dot.
So you think Nottingham is going to carry third? You think Nottingham is
Um,
going to maintain third position?
I don't. Mountain Forest is getting to that place where they are now declining a little bit, but I think
That's my point. That's why I was asking that because I think it's going to take a lot on Nottingham
Newcastle might
Forest.
still be third. Newcastle or Chelsea might still be third if they are gonna pick
You
off.
know what's so funny? I actually predicted Newcastle to make top four. So I also buy your sentiment that Newcastle I won't write them off to make top four.
Yep, because they're still using the same players from last year, and they probably still has that experience to fight in. Because Chelsea and Aston Villa are not really reliable at the moment. Chelsea is battling with inconsistency. That's another problem that Chelsea is having. So I think I'll put Newcastle third or fourth. Even Arsenal is looking shaky because I'm trying to see how you guys are going to win your games without a striker. That's the problem. And you don't have goal scoring midfielders.
Like
You
I
don't have
said,
midfielders that give you 15 goals, 20 goals. So that's where another problem is. You can't draw your games. You can't draw the games.
like
So
like like I said, the thing that's going to save Arsenal is that I think Arsenal have built a healthy league, and like I said, we should talk about Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest hasn't been in this situation in a long while, so are they going to choke at the time that they need it? They don't need to choke because I think if their last two games, I believe they have lost their last two games, if I'm not wrong. So I feel that experience might count against Nottingham Forest. Even though right now I still think they will make top four. And remember, this season, depending on how English teams do in Europe, you can actually have five teams that make Champions League. So at the end of the day, it might be five teams to go to Champions League, it might not be four. So yeah, they might not need top four. They might just end up making fifth and go to Champions League too. So
so talking about Nottingham Forest, I can see that they are playing you guys tomorrow. So it's going to be the battle of second place, or it's the battle of the runner up FC.
second and third.
So what will be your prediction for tomorrow?
I'm being honest with you. If I'm being honest, I'll say Nottingham Forest 1-0.
Okay,
Because I'm thinking, I just know how the only way Arsenal scores tomorrow is set piece, like or Nottingham Forest makes an error. My mind is telling me 1-0 Nottingham Forest, but my head is telling me 1-1. The game's gonna end 1-1. So I'm
I'm
gonna
leaning
pick
towards
1-0
the same
Nottingham Forest.
sentiment of 1-1 because Arsenal being Arsenal. I'm leaning towards 1-1 because I'm
You know
actually
what?
trying to figure
I'm
out.
gonna go 1-1 with you. Actually, I'm going to go 1-1 with
I'm
you.
trying to see who is going to
Just
score
because
for
I
you
don't think
guys.
Arsenal is gonna lose back to back.
What's your take on Man City Tottenham?
Tottenham to win 2-1.
Tottenham to win 2-1. Uh, I'm actually going to give Man City to win 2-1.
All right.
I see. I don't think Pep will allow this guy to do it a third time on his head. But the other part is that is
It's not about him aligning it now. It's if your players are going to play to your level, the levels required. That's the
it's
trick.
Tottenham's home. That's the problem. That's where the challenge is. It's Tottenham's home. And then
After
your no longer competition. Liverpool, Newcastle. What's your take?
my head is telling me Liverpool 2-3, Newcastle 1, but my mind is telling me my heart is going for a 2-2 draw. So I'm going to follow my head and say Liverpool 2-1.
I'm going for a 2-2. It's always tough for Liverpool at St. James Park.
No, actually they're playing at Anfield though.
Oh, it's
Is it
Anfield.
Anfield?
Sorry.
I think it's Anfield
Oh
because
yeah, yeah, it's
Liverpool were away
Anfield.
last game.
Oh, okay. Oh, uh I think is it a 3-2? 3-2 Liverpool. I'll give it 3-2 because midweek is always tough for Liverpool for some reason. So I'll give it 3-2. Let me see who is next. So we have Brentford, Everton.
I'll go for a draw. 1-1.
Okay, these are Wednesday games. So Brentford, Everton. You said 1-1. Uh, David Moyes needs to calm down. So I think Brentford should win 2-1. Man U is switch.
Who's home?
Manchester United. It doesn't matter.
1-1.
Man U switch 1-1.
Who's going to score? Who's going to
I'll
score for United?
say eh? Somebody will score. Hojland will
Who's going to
score.
score for
Sitek.
United?
Sitek. Man U switch 2-1.
If you say so.
I'll go towards 2-1.
For Ipswich, Abi.
Brighton. No, mind you. Brighton, Bournemouth. What do you take?
That's a tough one now because Brighton actually beat Bournemouth. Brighton beat Bournemouth the last time they met. I'm going to go for a draw again. 2-2.
I'll give Brighton the win, 2-1. Actually, let me put it 3-2. Chelsea Southampton.
I mean, that should be Chelsea to win 3-0.
Are you sure?
Southampton are god awful, man. I
Chelsea
think
4-1.
Southampton is already in Division One, I believe.
I think
Like
they all three of them are already in Division 1.
their minds are already settled on next season championship.
I'll give Chelsea 4-1. Then we have Wolves Fulham.
Wolves 2-1.
I lean towards the same. Actually, they've been on a nice form though. I give them 1-1. And then Crystal Palace Aston Villa.
Aston Villa 1-0. No, 2. Aston Villa 2-1.
I'll give them 1-1. Or let me see, 2-2. 2-2 draw. Then West Ham Leicester.
You know what? Sorry. Crystal Palace is home, right?
Yeah,
Damn. No, I go for a draw actually.
it
I go
was
for a draw
scoreline.
1-1. 1-1.
1-1. West Ham Leicester, what's your take?
West Ham 2-1.
West Ham 2-1. I'll say West Ham 3-1. That's what I think. Hopefully, Man U does a miracle and come up.
We know that my is going to finish second page of the league. We know that. There's no miracle that's happening. Second page is your destiny. What you should be praying now against that mine should not finish 16. That's what you should be praying.
We are still going to
Or
enter top
17th.
10. No matter what you say, we'll still be in top 10.
Okay.
That's what me, I believe.
I struggle to see how you're going to make top 10. Everton is playing better.
There's
Everton is playing better than you. Crystal Palace is playing better than you. Fulham is playing better
it's
than you.
not
So I
about
don't know
who's playing better.
who is going to knock you out, who you're going to knock out of that because all those guys are ahead of you in the table.
It's a
Crystal
gradual
Palace,
process.
Fulham, Tottenham, they're all ahead of you.
We have 12 games remaining. So you see how we do it.
Everton, Brentford. So you need to pass Fulham, Brentford, Tottenham,
But
Palace, and Everton.
the question is, are you looking at the points difference between
The point difference is 9. Between you and 10 is
uh
9 points. That's a lot.
it's 9 points now. So 9 points is 3 games.
So that's three. That's what I'm saying.
But
So
that's
between you and
but what I
yeah,
mean is like not matter of 3 games.
those.
We need if we play 6 games good or 7 games good, we are going to be in top 10.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So what? Even if you win the 3 games, those guys have to lose 3 games, and
But
my have seen so far.
some of them are part of the 3 games.
I don't trust Mayu to win 3 games.
You don't trust my watch out and see.
To win 3 games straight, I don't trust Mayu, and you know that.
Watch out and see.
All
The other
right,
thing I
let's
wanted
see.
us to
I like.
discuss would be during the Champions League, one of our
Yeah,
own, Ademola Lookman, who happens to be playing
yeah.
for Atlanta FC in Italian league, missed a penalty against what's the name of that club?
Club Brugge.
Club Brugge.
Club Brugge.
Uh, Considering the fact that he came in and scored one to wake them up to getting the hope of survival, and then probably he felt when he got the penalty, he felt, oh, I could do the comeback, and he missed the penalty. And then after the match, the coach came out and made some, well, I say
Max.
nasty diss against him or nasty statement against him. What's your take? What do you feel about that? And how do
Well,
you
my take is that Ademola Lookman, from the whole story I read, he's not the designated penalty taker for the club. And
okay?
what he actually said is true. Ademola Lookman is very poor when it comes to penalties. He's not just in Atlanta. Even from his time in Premier League, he has missed some penalties. At least there's one famous one we saw that
In the
he
last
missed while
seven
playing for Fulham.
penalties, in the last 7 penalties, he has only missed two.
Yeah, but he's not the penalty. First of all, he's not the penalty taker for his club.
The
So
penalty
I
taker
felt that,
missed in the league.
but doesn't mean
Okay, go
a club
ahead.
has a club has a designated player penalty taker for a reason. Anybody can miss penalties. Don't get me wrong, but a designated player, is penalty taker, is a designated player penalty taker because he's seen as the guy that is going to do the needful, which is going to. So if you give him the chance, maybe 9 out of 10, he's going to score 9 times. So I don't understand the obsession with him taking it. Though I heard that he went to the penalty and asked if he could take it, and the guy said yes. Then I still also fought him because you're not supposed to go meet him. You've already scored one goal. I get you're trying to help your team, but allow the penalty taker to take the penalty and score or miss, whichever one he does. But you walking up to him and saying you want to take it, I'm going to allow you. If you come up to me and say you want to take it, I'm going to allow you to take it. I'm not one of those guys that's going to stand on my feet and say no. I'm the penalty taker. I'm going to take it. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to allow you to take it. Why? Maybe because you scored on, or since you came to meet me, that means you feel confident to take it. So I'll allow you to take it. But that doesn't make it right because I'm the penalty taker for a reason. I've been designated that role and this thing to do. That is my role on the pitch, penalty taker. So nobody's supposed to come up to me and ask for himself to take it. No, don't do that. But so what he said, I understood what he said. But at the same time, the way I don't like he did it was that he was also supposed to come out publicly and say that you say stuff like that in a dressing room or with Ademola Lookman one on one. Like you'd say to him in his face, like one on one. Don't tell him, don't go to the press. Don't say it to the press before you tell it to your player. Like Lookman and the whole Atlanta had to find out through the press, not through the dressing room, but through you had to find out through the press, which is kind of damaging for your best player. The guy that secretly won you your first major trophy after how many years in the job. And then though today I was listening to another podcast where the guy was saying Gasperini is a very emotional player, manager, meaning that he allows his emotions cloud him. That is not the first time he has done stuff like this. That he did it to, I don't know. I remember Ilicic, the guy that
Yeah,
he was Atlanta, that
to
his
celebrity
wife,
shit.
I think his
Yep,
wife cheated on him. Yeah, so I think
I
he also
remember.
made a comment about him about the same that situation that happened, that he's too emotional and stuff like that. So he has been a manager that always, they said he always plays on the emotional side of, like he's too emotional for him. It's good. So if you're a manager like that, so something like that, you should be smart enough to know that okay, this is not the right thing to see in front of the press. You just lost a game. Don't allow your emotions to cloud your judgment. I think that's what happened to him. I'm very sure he must have apologized to Lookman after, but I don't know if Lookman is going to accept because I feel he's going to leave. Well, he was going to leave Atlanta regardless. So that's my take on it. The manager, what he did, the manager was wrong, in as much as he came out to air it, by airing it to the public as a side, as against in the dressing room, which is what you're supposed to do. And Lookman too is also wrong for deciding to take a penalty that he's not supposed to take. So both of them are wrong. That's what I feel.
I actually do not share in the sentiment that Lukman is wrong if he asks for the penalty because people can walk up to anybody and ask. It's up to the penalty taker to stand his ground and say, I'm confident to take this, I'm going to take it. We need the goal and I'm going to stay. It's just like free kicks, corner kicks, free kicks. People can stand up. Rashford stands up when Bruno wants to take it. Bruno fights it and take it back because he's the designated person. And Rashford moves on. If Bruno feels, oh, Rashford has a better chance, Rashford plays it. Rashford can balloon it and everybody moves on. Penalty is just because it's more of a clear goal opportunity. Like it's almost like 50-50. You're either hitting it or missing it. Like unlike free kick where you have to add technicality and a lot of other measurements into the gameplay. Currently, like proximity to goal is very clear and it's a one-on-one situation. So me, I felt maybe the guy felt, oh, as a somebody who is on form and as a striker who scores, like let me give it to you and you probably give us more chances than I feel at that moment. So it's okay, whatever they decide. But I feel the manager went out of place. Emotions are not emotions. You're supposed to understand who you are and where you are. It's just like Amorim insulting Man's players, which is fine. But at the same time, you're also making it public, right? And they'll come after the players, come after you and everything. So I felt no matter what he does, he should always position himself to know how he speak. If it's a language barrier or something, that's fine. But if it's not language barrier, it's more of emotion and just saying things like it felt more like a hateful speech towards Lookman, which might not be just like you said, it's emotions, but it felt like hateful speech. But before you could correct that damage, it could take a lot. But I must commend him that he didn't take it to heart. And in the next game, he brought on Lookman. It like Lookman started for them this weekend and scored 2 goals. So hopefully they've mended that really, really. Not that it's just a cover up to die down the story. But I feel like he needs to work on his emotions. If that's his excuse, he needs to work on it
No,
before he comes
I didn't
on
say it was an
to
excuse, but that's what they made it seem like. The guy was saying that Gasperini is an emotional
because
manager, so
it felt like a direct attack. You're mad about. I understand the heat of the time. You're mad about losing the game,
which is
but you
which
can
is
pick
why
one
I
thing and
stated
just
the
say,
emotional
"Oh,
part.
this," but not saying he's a bad penalty taker. Like he has had bad records. The thing that came to light are his bad records, which is when he was probably grooming up. But like they reviewed in the past 7 penalties that he has taken, he has only missed that Fulham's one and the one he missed that day. Other than that, he's been scoring. The other guy, which is the set piece taker, the penalty taker, missed like 2 or 3 within the league. So he might feel, oh, you have a better chance. Take the ball and go and score. And it's a 50-50. What if we didn't get the penalty? We would have lost a goal. So I feel like he needs to understand that emotional management because it could be a situation where it could be a Rashford situation or Sancho situation, and you say that, and they reply back, and then it's out of the blues, right? And it's something else. It becomes a drama for an entire season. But thank God they moved on past it. That's what I feel like. Hopefully, it's what it is. So, guys,
I actually think
let's
he
hear more
responded.
about your
I
take
think he
on.
responded though. I think he responded. I think Lookman responded, if I'm not wrong. But I don't.
Sorry, I
He didn't
didn't hear you.
respond in a very negative way.
No, Lookman
I
came
think
out and
Lookman
said like
responded.
he didn't come out to attack the coach or something. He just came out to make like yeah, he responded. He responded. He wrote something on social media too. But he didn't come out to like attack the coach badly or something. He just like tried to play a good side and mitigate the situation. So guys, you can comment and let's hear your take, especially on the if you feel Arsenal is going to be at this time, I cannot say title winners again. But do you feel Arsenal will be in the second or in the top four? Or do you feel Nottingham Forest is going to beat them and take the spot? Let's know what you feel. And what do you think you could suggest to Arteta to do to improve the team so that they don't lose out on top four as it stands now? Don't
I
forget
don't think they're losing
to
out to top football. It's what it
comment,
is.
like, and subscribe. Once again, thank you guys for being with us, and hopefully, we'll see you again next week.
Next week.
Bye for now.
Thanks. Thank you guys.